Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is February the 9th, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Monday, happy Garfield Day. Hopefully you got that lasagna, maybe some wine, maybe some garlic bread on the side, maybe even some seconds. Why not? Help yourself. But no, hopefully today has been good. Hopefully it's treated you well. Dare I say, I had a good, maybe even I'm going to say it. I had a great Monday. I know, wild, rare. I thought I was so down. Turns out I'm up. No, it was just a good day, like start to finish. It was solid. We love to see it. I got up feeling very rested. I guess I actually wind the clock back a little bit further. Post the episode, we got some, chicken and rice together, ate, brushed my teeth. And then I had fully decided that I'm like, look, it's going to be the best time. I just got a nap in. Like, let's just cut our hair. Let's just go bald. Let's just get this over with and, be good to go for the rest of the month. So that's what I did. Locked that down, got a good shave. Hopefully I didn't miss any spots, but that's the best thing about the winter is that I get to just rock beanies, infinitely. So that's great. Love that. So no one's really going to see under the hood, but, got that done, hung out for a little bit, went to bed, woke up feeling good, feeling great. I think really we just had to fade the hangover. We, get ourselves together, we get to work, and work goes well. I spend the entire day at the crusher. I'd say the quote unquote only hiccup was we had our meeting, at the top of the day, and the supervisor let everybody know. It's like, hey, with the new time clock coming up soon, we are going to change how we're doing the breaks. We've already told you that. You knew that from the meeting. So it's just kind of better to just get on it now. So let's just do it now. So essentially, I have to start taking my breaks in a regimented way with everybody. So that's a bit annoying because I just like to have the control, you know what I mean? So bit of a bummer, but it's okay. I took my breaks accordingly today and it was fine. Got through the day at work and then we went to the gym. Gym was expectedly busy. I preemptively parked in the Jungle Gyms parking lot so I could just walk right in and, just get right to it. But despite it being so busy, there was a Smith machine open for me. And I was like, oh, we're so lucky. We're a star today. Let's fucking go today. I had a white Monster in my hand. I had an orange bandana on my head and I was ready to rip it. So I just immediately am just more confident for some reason. I'm like, ooh, let's go. And, I initially had a plan of doing lighter lifts. I was thinking maybe even let's do a reset. Let's start from the bottom, work our way up. We've done that before. Sometimes it's just good to do. And I still might do that. But that, not today, not this day. So, I think I started 225, bumped up to 275 on my bench. I was like, all right, no, we're good. This is what we're warming up on. All right. I like this vibe. Do some incline around the same kind of intensity. Not on 225, maybe 235. I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm feeling myself. We're good here. And I'm getting through all my lifts and we get to the squat and I'm like, oh, we're just going to do 365. Let's fucking go. And I do it with no belt and I'm like, yeah, we're good. Let's go. And then, we set up for the deadlift and I'm like, I'm doing 365. I'm getting my lick back right now. No belt. And I get in there for 3 reps and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling insane. I'm whipping my shit. And it's taking me back to this conversation I had over the weekend where my friend's like, dude, I think it's going to happen. I'm like, what? He's like, I think they're going to ring the Lunka alarm on you one day. I'm like, no. They shan't. They never will. They'll never get me. No way. I would never. But then I'm thinking to myself, over time, I do have my moments where I catch myself making a noise. Why is my tongue out? What's going on here? You're getting too into it. And I'm like, maybe they do. But let's hope not. Let's knock on wood, because I'll let the bar catch me. If they ever ring the lunk alarm on me. No. But no, I was invigorated. I was feeling so strong because I don't know. I was just able to rip that shit at will. That felt good. So, got through the rest of my weight training, just doing it heavy. Hit like 70s on my dumbbells on the free weights. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go, eat it up. Everything was good. I felt strong. Overall, my filler work was good. The core work was good. So yeah, hell yeah. We did some cardio. That was pretty much the usual cardio, though I will say I wasn't like sweating it up on the treadmill, but we got our walk in, we did the Stairmaster, felt good there. Elliptical on the bike, so overall, really good time, really good vibe at the gym. We love that. After that, we came home, had a stretch, had a snack. I will say I finished that bobo thing, that oatmeal bar I talked about last episode. I tried to heat it up in like the microwave, made it a little better, but still L snack, would not recommend. But yeah, had some of that and, did some research, and here we are, ready to yap it up about some news, about some happenings. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup and we can get into said news. I guess kind of for starters, you could say this is news, whatever. I did miss the Super Bowl. I didn't watch any of it. I did wake up to find that, obviously the real winner was fucking Bad Bunny. He's the real winner. He's the real MVP. He's the real GOAT. But, what was it? Seahawks won. They beat the Patriots. So if I was a betting man, I would have been upset because I think I would have bet on the Patriots, which is like, what, Isaiah, you don't watch sports. I know. I used to, though. I'm a vibes guy. So, without watching one postseason game, I would have put my money on, the Patriots and been disappointed. So whatever. But it is what it is. I really didn't care who won or whatever. In terms of the performance, I did watch some clips. It looked really cool. I know I got a lot of reactions. In terms of the Turning Point halftime show, kind of crickets. Didn't really hear much out of that. I'm sure some diehards really, really needed their Kid Rock injection, so they got that. Yay for them. But no, pretty much the whole show, like the Super Bowl in and of itself, was about Bad Bunny. And I like that Bad Bunny made it about like the culture, about just literally the fact that it was all in Spanish, not even with subtitles. I fuck with that, actually. It's like, at the end of the day, it is for like himself, it's for his people. It's like, it's for everyone. Like, cause we're all a part of this. Like, at the end of the day, this is America. Like it has such a great message, and you didn't have to like, it was a message for you to interpret and to see. Even Baby Liam was there. We've talked about Baby Liam in the fucking news. He was in the part of the performance. Literally, fucking Bad Bunny handed him like one of his Grammys. That shit was crazy. Like I said, from the clips I saw, Lady Gaga, she made an appearance. I didn't expect that. Ricky Martin, he did his thing, did a little solo there. But yeah, overall, it looked like a fucking vibe. It looks so fucking cool. Obviously, you can go watch the whole show if you want. There you go. I think my biggest disappointment, the only thing that I wish would have happened, was Bad Bunny calls Drake a pedophile in Spanish. That shit would have been crazy to me. I know, old hat. We did that last year. But man, that would have been funny as fuck. Then I would have been like, okay, I missed out. But no, overall, it was an amazing show. It did get a good Donald Trump rant on Truth Social. It was a bit, long-winded and a little bit blah, blah, blah. But he got a glimmer of himself, and I don't have the whole thing up, but at one point in his rant, he goes, they weren't even speaking, something to the effect of, they weren't even speaking English. I couldn't even understand what they were saying. It's like, bro, you literally said you weren't going to watch it. Brother, why are you so mad? Why are you so pressed, boo-boo? But yeah, no, I think it angered all the right people and everyone loved it. You know what I mean? I think the real ones fucking loved the fuck out of that show. It was awesome. Because once again, it's a fucking vibe. Oh, I couldn't understand it. Brother, you can move your hips around. There's beautiful people out there having the time of their life. You can understand and appreciate that very easily. You know what I mean? That translates. You don't need subtitles for that, actually. So yeah, I don't know. Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl, right? I don't know. Like, once again, I feel like I personally miss much? No, because it's one of those things where at the end of the day, the Super Bowl is here to serve you a bunch of commercials. And how do we do that? We get like a really cool performer and we make sure that that's going to be really fucking dope. And we make sure the commercials are funny. And we got the sports ball that you wanted. Here's the sports ball you ordered. Here you go. And so, I mean, it delivered on all that. So yeah, I guess we'll be talking about it next year. Anyway, let's go ahead and I didn't even finish my startup. I got right into talking about the goddamn Super Bowl. Super Bowl. I wish I had a Super Bowl. Okay. Wait. Ooh. All right. First story from CNN. Hong Kong's Jimmy Lai sentenced to 20 years in prison after landmark national security trial. Former Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai has been sentenced to 20 years in prison, ending a years-long legal battle that has come to define Beijing's transformational crackdown on the once freewheeling financial hub. The 78-year-old self-made billionaire was among the highest-profile government critics charged since Beijing imposed a sweeping national security law on the semi-autonomous southern city in 2020. The sentence is the longest delivered under the law and means Lai will not be eligible for parole until he is in his late 90s. So yeah, essentially probably like around 98. That's a life sentence for sure. It has galvanized international calls for pro-democracy media moguls, release, following a landmark trial that was closely watched by Western world leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump, who vowed to get him out. Trump is expected to travel to China in the coming months to meet his counterpart Xi Jinping, and many of Lai's supporters will be lobbying him to raise the case. All right, I kind of just want to leave it here. There's details. We've covered this a bit before. And I honestly think this is going to be one of my villain episodes. I don't know, man. But I'm not a Jimmy Lai fan. I'm not a Jimmy Lai enjoyer. What can I say? Like, it is one of those things where I get it. And, like, I know that I'm supposed to be like, hey, like, this is a blow to democracy. This is bad. Like, da-da-da-da. But, like, at the end of the day, it is hard for me to look at a guy like Jimmy Lai and not see a Jeffrey Bezos, not see a Rupert Murdoch, and see that this is a guy who is interfering in what China as a whole wants to do. And it's like, yeah, man, they fucking got this guy out of the fucking way. Like, and now at best, maybe he's going to be a political tool between Xi and Trump, and maybe he gets out that way. I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, he played the game and he lost, dude. He could have been just a dissident and been in exile. And like, oh, I know, that's so sad. It's unfortunate. I know, man. But once again, this is the game. You are trying to do your thing and make more money and da-da-da. Oh, no, this is about the Daily Apple. This is about the freedom of press. I guess, maybe. But this is a tabloid we're talking about. Like, it's giving daily news. It's hard for me to see him as a hero in the story, even though I know every media outlet I listen to is telling me that, is portraying it that way. You know what I mean? I'm listening to this BBC and they're touting this as like, this is a big hero. You're only seeing the one perspective here. You're only listening to the Suns tell their story, and that's fair. Okay, I get it. You gotta have that, but there's not really a 50-50 here. Then we're just talking about like, the cruel, evil, totalitarian Xi Jinping and how they are, interloping and putting all this pressure on Hong Kong and da da da. I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't we expect nothing less from a country with a nation state, like with the power that they have? Like, yeah, they don't want to do the system that was forced to, like, they were forced to deal with. No, they don't want to do that. But once again, we've talked about this before, and I find that I can't get into this without doing a whole bunch of historical context that I'm not even good at explaining myself, and I still am learning about my fucking self. But I do know how I feel about it, and that's kind of all I can do is shoot from the hips, balls and strikes. That's all I got here, okay? Like, so, I might be dumb for sure, but this is just how I interpret it, how I feel about it. So once again, I just can't root for Jimmy Lai here. But I mean, hey, I guess you can hope that maybe Trump is serious and this is going to be a thing that, winds up, getting him out of Jimmy Lai out of the situation. Maybe I don't know, because that seems like the best thing you can hope for. He can appeal. I know that that's mentioned in the article, but I don't know how that's going to go. But yeah, I mean, that is the matter at hand. Like I get it that it's like, oh, Hong Kong's a democracy. They're supposed to be able to have these rights. And it's like, yeah, man. But at the end of the day, China has been clawing that shit back. Beijing has been clawing that shit back. Like, I personally don't blame them for doing so. Like, it just makes sense to me that they do that. I'm not saying like, oh, that is the right thing to do. It's morally wholesome. That's not what we're talking about here, right? Like, I don't know, man. So anyway, I guess that's the situation and my 2 cents on it. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. And like I said, this is my villain episode, dude. I can't help myself. I say hello to the bad guy. I don't know. Is it me? Am I the problem? I'm probably the problem. My dumbass. Anyway, from the Associated Press. Venezuela frees several opposition members after lengthy politically motivated detentions. Venezuela's government on Sunday released from prison several prominent opposition leaders, including one of the closest allies of Nobel Peace Prize laureate Maria Corina Machado, after lengthy politically motivated detentions. The releases come as the government of acting President Delcy Rodríguez faces mounting pressure to free hundreds of people whose detentions months or years ago have been linked to their political activities. They also follow a visit to Venezuela of representatives of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. Rodriguez was sworn in as Venezuela's acting president after the January 3rd capture of then-President Nicolas Maduro by the U.S. military. Her government began releasing prisoners days later. So I haven't really been... let me take a water break. I haven't really been covering this too extensively, but I guess I'm at least glad I'm waiting to this point, because I'd only heard of one the other day, and I'm like, okay, this is another big name that is getting released. So I was like, okay, so kind of get a little bit of a bundle action here. I'm quite parched. Some of those freed Sunday joined families waiting outside prisons for their loved ones to be released. They chanted, "We are not afraid, we are not afraid," and marched a short distance. I am convinced that our country has completely changed. Juan Pablo Guanipa, a Machado ally and former governor, told reporters hours after his release, "I'm convinced that it is now up to all of us to focus on building a free and democratic country." Guanipa spent more than 8 months in custody. Excuse me. Big burp. Venezuelan-based prisoners' rights group Foro Penal confirmed the release of at least 30 people Sunday. In addition to Guanipa, we're going to say Guanipa. I feel comfortable saying Guanipa. Machado's political organization said several of its members were among the released, including Maria Oropeza, who live-streamed her arrest by military intelligence officers as they broke into her home with a crowbar. Machado's attorney, Perkins Rocha, or it's probably Perkins Roja, I'm hoping. Not that Rocha would be bad, but I don't know. I'm bad with pronunciations. Was also freed. Let's go for the freedom of Venezuela, Machado posted on X. From an undisclosed location. We still don't know where she's at, by the way. Guanipa was detained in late May and accused by Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello. We're going to say Cabello. of Gabello of participating in an alleged terrorist group plotting to boycott that month's legislative election. Guanipa's brother Tomas rejected the accusation and said the arrest was meant to crack down on dissent. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously more details, but big news. A lot of people being released. This is a positive thing. I'm always happy to see the release of people. And overall, this is a good thing. It is a very precarious situation, though, for Venezuela to have the situation of like, okay, so you have this government that, and nobody, quote unquote, no one likes. And, it's supposed to be out of power anyway. But essentially, well, for the Trump administration, they're like, we don't care because we're getting what we want out of this. And like, as far as we know, I think Marco Rubio, as I like to say, has said, hey, we're doing phases. And right now we're in this phase, but eventually we will get to a phase where we are doing a transition. But a lot of people are upset because they're like, well, we already had elections. Like, we do want Machado. We do want, that, or we do elections again right now. Like, let's make that happen. But once again, it's just not about that. It's about oil. It's about control. It's about making sure that, this administration, the Trump administration, is getting what they want. So at the end of the day, Delcy is playing ball. So there's really no problem, at least according to the Trump administration. At least that's kind of how I'm interpreting this. But once again, I mean, this is good news. I'm happy to see people freed. I think that's a good thing. What was it though? I was listening to Odd Lots, and I was listening to this Venezuelan banker, then turned professor, and they were talking, just giving a lot of like history and context, and then also, just talking about like the potential future of Odd Lots. So I mean, that was a good listen. But it's weird. I find myself listening to people who I know are smarter than me. In that situation too, they've lived this whole life. But once again, it's like, hey man, I get you, but I also understand that like, oh, you're just going to always have this different perspective from me that I'm going to disagree with. Like at the end of the day, like they were talking about, Hugo Chavez and like how devastating this man was. And it's like, okay, we can definitely say, hey, he made some, economic mistakes and things like that. But I still don't think that the idea of saying, hey, we're going to make this for us, like that's a bad thing. He just managed it kind of poorly and did the cult of personality thing. And then, couldn't sustain it when he was obviously gone. And then, it phases through to other people who, are not really doing the same thing. They're not really carrying the same mantle, so to speak. But I mean, all of this then, juxtaposed with, pressure from the West, which, this guy's saying like, oh, well, that's a very secondary thing. Like Venezuela kind of did this to themselves. Like when, after they picked, Chavez and like, I guess, I don't know, but I don't know, that's where I definitely got to say, hey, I'm biased. And this is where I like, once again, maybe I feel like I'm just the dumb bad guy here. I don't know, who can say, but anyway, this was a big update. I felt a good update at the end of the day. Like I said, I'm happy to see people freed. That's good. And, once again, that's 4 cents. Anyway, we have one more story that I wanted to cover. We're talking Ghislaine. We're talking Maxwell. We're talking Epstein files. We're talking Congress. Okay. Let's take our last break and then we'll go ahead and close it out. And if you're wondering, is Isaiah going to go for the quote unquote evil hat trick? I mean, stay tuned. Stay tuned, Patriots. Me wondering why I'm always so parched. Ooh, I'm swimming. Ooh, yeah. I love my voice. From USA Today, Ghislaine Maxwell refuses to testify to Congress about Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted accomplice of accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, refused to answer questions February 9th from a House committee seeking information on who else might have helped them. Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence for conspiring to entice minors to travel for illicit sex, invoked her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination to avoid answering questions from the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. The refusal came despite her answering questions in July from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Who is she protecting? Asked Representative Robert Garcia of California, the top Democrat on the committee. Let me skip the record here. For one, her fucking self, dude. Like, here's the thing. We've talked about this before. Whenever you get dragged into these situations, which is a situation that happens all the time, you're not going to get immunity. Like, she asked, like, can I get some kind of coverage here? Can I get some kind of clemency? And she got no's across the board. She got that with Todd Blanche. And was able to, like, get into a cozier, swankier prison situation. So, like, yeah, she talked a bit. You know, she told a little bit of fucking information, told some tales, whatever. You know what I mean? She had an actual conversation with Todd Blanche. Yeah, it's a bit different there. Here, she's getting absolutely nothing, and you're only looking to incriminate her and or others, which actually we were going to try to get to. So what I'm saying is, this is maybe my evil part. Are we surprised that Ghislaine Maxwell, came through and said, I plead fifth, No, we're not surprised. Like, and what do we think Clinton's going to do? What do we think Hillary's going to do? Like, I think more or less, at least with Hillary, she's more or less said, like, hey, we gave you a written deposition. Like, we said everything that we need to say on this shit. There's no need for us to come up and testify. Like, this is unnecessary. So maybe she's just going to come to do something like that. I've also heard it floated with Clinton, thanks to either Donald Trump or Joe Biden. I can't remember who did it. God damn it. But essentially, presidents have, like, protections. Like, so there's a possibility that he can try to invoke that, in Congress. So either not say anything and be fine, whatever, coast it, or say whatever the fuck he wants and have, like, quote unquote star power. I did what, like, you know what I mean? And then what? What are you gonna do? So I don't know, man. Once again, we are hitting the farcical level again, and, like, these people haven't even showed up. We just got Ghislaine in the room. You know what I mean? But I mean, once again, not surprising that she's like, nope, zipping my lips. Not saying anything. You don't get to hear my accent. Like, yeah. Let me get to my highlighted portion. Despite Maxwell's refusal to testify, Ro Khanna, released the questions he planned to ask. Khanna wanted to ask her, who are the 4 co-conspirators and 25 men she said in a December court filing had entered secret settlements not to be indicted. Khanna wanted to ask why the alleged accomplices weren't prosecuted. Ghislaine Maxwell trafficked and abused hundreds of young girls, Khanna said on social media. I will not rest until we have answers and survivors are granted justice. So that's big. I'm sure this has been floated from, real pro Epstein head motherfuckers. They know all this fucking shit. They're hip to this shit. They remember and da-da-da. There's so much to remember. There's, like, either I might have heard this before or this is just all fucking new to me. God damn it. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's continue. Comer said the committee has 5 more depositions scheduled. February 18th with Lex Wexner, a financial client of Epstein and former CEO of Victoria's Secret. February 26th with Hillary Clinton. February 17th with Bill Clinton. March 11th with Richard Kahn, an Epstein accountant. And March 18th with Darren Indyke, an Epstein lawyer. We will continue to move forward and try to get answers for the American people, Comer said. So yeah, I mean, this was big in the sense of, like, hey, they actually set Maxwell down, but nothing happened. Nothing came of it. Excuse me. But I mean, what is Lex Wexner gonna do? That's big. That's definitely big. I'm curious to see what his deposition is going to look like. Is he going to show up? Obviously, Bill and Hillary And the accountant, I'm sure, once again, that's for the real heads. That's for the level, I don't know, level 5, ball knowers of this Epstein shit. This is where I have to expose that I'm only a rookie. What can I say? It's amateur hour over here. But yeah, I mean, this was big, so I definitely felt like, hey, important to talk about. I guess closing out. Hey, we're kind of, great. Obviously we're not talking about Trump here, though we should be. He's mentioned a lot in the Epstein files, yet, I mean, we're not talking about him. That's the president. Also, crazy we're not talking about Steve Bannon. Like, and not only are we not talking about him, I think we're trying to get charges, like, thrown out, like, old charges. Like, it's crazy, dude. Ugh. Like... They're getting away with other shit and getting away with this. Everybody, dude. Like, so, it's frustrating. Like, I do hope that we get more than just a show out of this. I know, I said I was done, but I'm back. It's just, god damn it, dude. Like, on that shit, I do get everyone's frustrations, with this whole Epstein thing, man. Like, it just seems like it's so ongoing, and you just hear more and more and more names. And you're happy that, like, someone gets fired, and that's cool. And like, oh, they're going to investigate, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, whatever the fuck, who's it. Cool. Like, they're probably going to get, like, you know what I mean? It's just like, they're probably getting off for the shit. And it's just so frustrating, dude. It's so goddamn frustrating. Olympics. Olympics. That's what I wanted to talk about. Some Olympians have been talking, you do your pressers and, shit like that. And essentially just, I feel like they're not even like being super spicy. They're just saying like, hey, yeah, I'm here to represent America. I'm doing the best I can to do that, as things are in America. It's really tough. It's really hard. And, Trump, who is obviously always like as a millennial and a Zoomer, et cetera, are always online. Trump is on TV. Like as a boomer, he is always on TV. He's always watching the TV. He's always on some Fox News shit. He's always on like some like whatever, late night thing. He's going to watch that shit. He's going to tune in. And if you're talking shit, he hears about it. He's going to go on Truth Social and like, he called one of the Olympians, I know I should have the names, but I don't. He called one of them like a loser. And it's like, dude, like, this is an Olympian, our Olympian. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I was talking to my friend about this. I'm like, the only way I could equivalent, like, the only equivalent I could come up with is like Hitler, like, talking shit on like Jesse Owens. Like, dude, he's crushing our shit. What is this dark guy doing? What is this motherfucker doing? Oh man, no, but Trump's doing that to his own people, so that's fun. His own, U.S. citizens. He's like, yeah, if you don't like America, then you shouldn't have competed. Like, what are you doing, bro? They're not even saying that. So I don't know. Obviously, go Olympians, go Olympics, go sports. Yeah, we talked about sports 2 times today. There you go, starting to finish. So there's that. But yeah, that's the episode. That's all I got. Let's see. If you'd like to help out support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you like to listen. Subscribe to the... I think I said I'm spacing out. Oh no. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars on Spotify, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts are always appreciated. I know. Was this a 5-star effort? Please just say yes. Just say yes. Like I'm a GameStop employee. Okay. just know it's all on the line. Okay. No. But no, you don't have to do all that. Especially if you don't feel that way, then keep it a secret. But no, hopefully you did enjoy this episode. Hopefully you want to come back. And, that's why all those button presses are good for that. But no, truly that's all I want is that you enjoyed this or maybe learned a little something or compelled to like go fact check me or something. That's always fine. I'm fine with being wrong. And we get to a conclusion and we both, I don't know, got better and closer along the way. Wouldn't that be sick? Wouldn't that be so fucking cool? Wouldn't that be so YouTube Bono of us? Anyway, that's it. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.